right, welcome everybody to Dave Cooper Live, where we showcase the people, the products, and the processes, helping us all to build it better. And today, we welcome Agustin Rayon, CEO and President of Plant Prefab. And he is going to talk to us about how Plant Prefab is specifically addressing the critical housing issues in supply and labor constraint markets. Recently opening their third prefab factory, the company's first automated facility, this location is designed and efficiently manufacture custom prefabricated, panelized, and modular building components, offering a hybrid solution to the complex problems of housing supply. But first, before we bring them on to the show, we got to thank our sponsors for making all of this possible. Forward Solutions Group is successfully driving companies to succeed where others have failed. Are you looking to start a factory, optimize your existing factory, streamline your production, or take your team to the next level? Whatever your needs are, Forward has a solution for you. Reach out to Ben at forwardsolutionsgroup.com. Howick Ltd. has a long history of innovation in cold form steel manufacturing and producing innovative precision roll forming technology for customers throughout the United States and the world. Check out their machine buyer's guide for off-site modular construction or fast build construction with light steel for framing. Go to their website, howickltd.com. Brought to you by Greatech, one of the largest Autodesk partners globally and software developer of the PowerPack Advanced Design, Advanced Steel, and the StruxSoft product line. The complete solution to automate wood and light gauge steel framing, design, and documentation all the way out to CNC output. Model, design, and manufacture with StruxSoft. Learn more at struxsoftsolutions.com. All right, again, we can't do any of this without our sponsors, so a big, big thank you to all of them. Make sure you go and say thank you yourselves. Check out all the awesomeness that they bring to the table to help you build it better. All right, without further ado, let's bring on Agustin to the show. Hey, Agustin, thank you for joining us today.
Hey, Dave, thanks for having me.
Hey, listen. This is super exciting. We have been following Plant Prefab for a long, long time, and you continue to grow, flourish, and keep managing your build process to a whole new level of automation now, and you're serving multiple states. So I'm super excited about this conversation. I know you're busy. Having you on the show is a real honor, so thank you.
Well, likewise. I'm happy to be here, and thanks again.
All right. Well, traditional Dave Cooper Live format. Agustin, we want to know everything about you from the moment you were born to this very moment in time. Do not leave out any of the good stuff from the hospital, because we will have your mother on the show, and it could get quite embarrassing. However, you only have about 2 minutes to do it, so the floor is yours. Let's hear it.
Well, thanks, Dave. I grew up in Mexico, although I've spent most of my adult life in the US when I came here for college. I went to school for robotics and automation engineering, and I started my career actually in automotive. The minute that I got introduced through one of my professional experiences to the construction industry and, the vast opportunity that there was in it, I kind of couldn't get away. So I've been in the construction industry for a little bit over 15 years. This is the third startup that I am part of, and super proud to be in this community of people that are trying to bring innovation and do things better in this industry, build better, right? I've been following Plant Prefab for quite some time before I joined. I've always been a big fan of what Steve and the team have done. They had a pretty cool brand, and they've done really cool stuff with sustainability, and that was one of the main reasons when the opportunity presented, I wanted to join. I initially joined as their COO, and the big task ahead of me was to commission and get the plant behind me up and running, and build a team and with new automation and the new technology we're bringing in, we're kind of getting into a new phase, right? Shortly after that, Steve had planned his transition, and we did an internal search and external search, and I got the call from our board, and they wanted me to take the lead, and it's been a blessing. It's been an amazing experience, and we have a phenomenal team. I mean, like you, we couldn't do what we do without all the amazing talent that we have, and we're here. We finally made the turn into what has been the vision for a long time, and we couldn't be more excited to be where we are.
Well, you should be excited because, I mean, you went from one plant to two plants and now three plants, which we're going to get into because I know there's a caveat with that I just learned. I'm super excited to hear about it. But not only are you growing your manufacturing, you're also transitioning into multi-unit housing, which is a big shift from all the bespoke single-family homes that you guys have been working on over the years. So I'm curious, what drove to this strategic shift? I get the word out. And how does the company plan to leverage its expertise in automation now in modular construction to make a significant impact on housing production?
Yeah, thanks, Dave. Yeah, you're right. In addition to getting this factory up and running, we had two other facilities in Rialto and Ontario, California, which is just east of LA. We were opening this facility, very ambitious plan. We've been working on it for 3 years. And as soon as it was operational, part of the plan was to consolidate our other operations into this one. So, we were bringing this one up, winding the other ones down, and consolidating, keeping the team together, we were able to bring 80% of the team from the other two facilities down to this one. Just to give you some sense of the distance, this is 2.5 hours away from the closest of the two. So, it required either travel commitments or relocation. And, so we that was a big lift for us to keep the team together and keep all that expertise that we have built over the years. A lot of automation. And I know you've been to the other facilities we had. They were primarily manual operations. We were building bespoke, we call them snowflakes, right? Bespoke projects, very cool projects. I mean, very complex. And I think that's what built our strength, right? We were able to think outside of the box. We were able to solve for the projects, right? We didn't have necessarily a solution that if it didn't fit, we said, well, go and find somebody else. We can't serve you. We were always problem solving. How do we do your project from an offsite perspective? And that's when the idea, back in the day, I can't take any credit for this, of doing a hybrid model, which is panelization and modular solution. We really like, to solve the problems of every specific project, to try to bring the right solution for every client. And that, as it's no secret to anybody. Everybody's really looking for a better solution, but that it's also cost effective. So cost is always at the front end of the discussion. We like our clients to understand our process, so there's a fair amount of education that will go through it. And now that we have all this automation, I mean, we've been prepping for years, right? Like our team couldn't wait to have all of these awesome tools that we now have available to us. And the team has been doing a lot of testing. We thankfully had great partners in the equipment integration teams. We had great partners with our general contractors and developers for the site. We have great partners with our clients, right? Our clients really are very involved in the process, as they should be. And our suppliers, So it's a complex ecosystem, as you know. So it takes a big effort, a big push to kind of bring it all together. Now with the automation and the new tools that we obviously have better engineer controls. So we are able to keep things square and keep things the way that it should be, right? Without having to do a lot of quality control. So we've shifted to from a lot of quality control to more quality assurance, thanks to the automation. And the labor, obviously, also there had to be a little bit of a shift, because now you need people that can operate this equipment. You need people that understand what it takes. Thankfully, the equipment now, it's not what it used to be 20, 30 years ago, where it was kind of difficult to find people that could operate this piece of equipment. Everybody's eager to learn. I think that this is also one of the reasons why people wanted to come, right? Because they've been dreaming of all these tools and how to do things easier. And so it's been great. It's been great.
I mean, when we talk about workforce development and we talk about the next generation wanting to work, I mean, no pun intended, you hit the nail on the head, right? Give them the
Yeah.
tools and the environment and the technology that, so much of the younger generation desires, and give them robots or programming or anything that has to do with an iPad, a phone, or any digital screen. And you really up your chances of bringing in that younger workforce to help you grow and think differently as you grow.
No doubt. I mean, you're absolutely right. When you start looking at what's happening with the trades, and some of the masters in the trade that used to have apprenticeship and programs, that then you had the next generation coming up and learn how to be a master carpenter or plumber or electrician. Well, kids these days, don't think that way. The kids these days want, they're hearing about AI, they're hearing about automation, they're hearing about programming, and they want to get into that, right? So trade school is becoming a little bit different these days. They have to learn to use this equipment. I mean, we have uh, you know uh, 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 planned trainings throughout the year for the folks that are here. There's always something new to learn. We have done, now since we opened the facility, we have done about 5 formal trainings with all the people that have joined, and we have had tremendous success. I mean, when we first moved to this area, we obviously engaged with the economic development groups locally, and we engaged. I mean, we were even knocking doors, with our neighbors, factories that were around, and we were asking, hey, how do we become successful, right, at attracting talent? And it's funny. Some of our neighbors were actually scared, because they're like, "Your operation is so cool. You're going to steal all of our employees." And we're like, "That's not at all what we're trying to do." But they were super helpful. They sent us to 3 job fairs, and we went to half of one, and we had what we needed. I mean, we got more interest than we can handle at this point, right? Obviously, we're still ramping up. We're still on a first shift basis. But and we have a way to go before we fill the shift. But we're excited to be in the area where we are. There's a lot of talent that just want to come and work and learn. So
Yeah, for sure. Well, and we need to tap into that, and you guys are finding a way to do that, and you're creating a culture that they want to be part of, and that's great. Just as a follow up on your other 2 factories, so you're consolidating all the factories under that one factory that's behind you, and you're also going to show us some inside photos of that factory here shortly. So everybody, stay tuned if you want to see the inside of the new Plant Prefab fully automated manufacturing facility. But am I understanding that right? Are you gonna close those other 2 factories and put everything under one?
it's done. So end of uh, end of May, we officially consolidated under one roof.
Yeah.
All of the challenge with mostly modular products is, you have to really move them at the right time before creating more damage, or before they're ready for transportation.
Right.
So that was the most challenging part. Like, when do we move specific projects? But then we got that done right at the end of May, maybe a little bit after. But um, the process is fully completed. We're integrated under one roof, and we're super excited about that.
Awesome. Let me go to my second question that I have for you here. And that is, all about the factory automation and the new factory and the innovation that you guys are bringing to the table with it. So with the recent opening of the Tejon Ranch, California plant, how has the integration itself of the automation enhanced the efficiency and quality of Plant Prefab's building components? And can you share some examples of how these advancements actually solve for the housing shortage?
Yeah, thank you. Great question. So yeah, the integration has been honestly very smooth. The equipment integrators, as I mentioned, once the equipment showed up, which most of our partners were dealing with the hangover from COVID and getting parts, and getting a full line to actually show up at the door. Once everything was there, I mean, it was so smooth. The installation, these guys were pros. They were great at what they do. And the training. I mean, like everything else, right? There's always improvements that can be made, but they're always thinking about it. And the training was great. You know, I've done previous integrations with robotic welding. I used to do. I was in the cold form steel framing world, and we were doing integrations with robotics and welding and vision systems, and laser cutting and whatever. This is probably the smoothest integration I've been part of. The
Right.
equipment just works. Once you get there, it just works. The integration from our digital twin to the physical world was also very smooth.
Mhm.
And as specific examples, I mean, the the capability that we have, right? We can do all your vertical and horizontal penetrations on the equipment itself. There's no measuring, there's no tapes, it's all part of your digital twin, the models that we're sharing with the equipment. We on all of the, like the bridge that you see behind me, we have a few of them across the factory. All the multifunctional bridges offer tremendous flexibility and capability. We do all the screwing, all the nailing, all the routing, all the printing. So we do a lot of, like, for example, floor cassettes. We lay out all our walls automatically there. So when we take panels out of the magazines, it's just looking at what the ID is and looking at the floor and where does that wall go, and as simple as that. So speed was something that even our team internally, if we, not to bore you with the details, but if we were doing, let's say, 2 or 3 assemblies of X per day, and I was coming in and telling them, guys, we're going to be doing 7, 8, 12 when we're fully ramped up. And I had people like literally betting me money that was impossible, right? And um, once it was really rewarding to see the team kind of rally around the tools, and the efficiencies that was giving them. Also the flow, the people that we had designing this plan were super smart, were very diligent about how the flow was going to work. And obviously, I mean, since we opened, we have had 4 Kaizen events. We have a leadership that we brought in with high expertise in lean manufacturing, from anywhere from automotive to aerospace and beyond, construction experience as well. And just every single day, every single month, actually every time I walk the floor, I see something new and I see improvement, which is super cool and very exciting.
Well, and that's what's exciting about it. And what was really exciting to me is when I heard that the integration of all the technology felt pretty seamless for you, because getting all of that stuff to actually work theatrically, and I say that where it runs like a smooth movie, right? Because all the small changes affect the entire line. I think it's incredible that you're finding that there's a simple transition so far that you had. But my guess is you had the right team in place.
That's the key. That's the key to, you know, there's a lot of people behind the scenes making sure that it looks easy, right?
Yeah.
Doesn't mean that it is. It obviously came with a lot of hurdles and a lot of tears and blood and pain and whatnot. But the team had the right plan. We have, as I mentioned, awesome team and partnership with our vendors and providers. And so, I mean, there were hurdles, right? I always say, you know, this is probably the seventh facility that, you know, I'm involved in design and commissioning. And, you know, if you get 90% of it right, you did a great job. There's always 10% more that you just won't know it's even there until you all of a sudden are running and you're like, well, we didn't think about that, right? And it's just, you know, it's part of it. It's the continuous improvement mentality that you have to come in with, and you just have to know that you're never going to be perfect. You're just always going to try to be a little bit better.
Yeah, you're never going to stop growing. So, well, let's hop into some of the photos here and you can walk us through
Sure.
what we're going to see. And for the rest of you out there, before we do that, we have a few more questions that we're going to be talking about tonight. And one of them is the challenges in supply and labor constrained markets. We're also going to talk about Plant Prefab's vision for the environmental sustainability and LEED certification process that they've been doing for years. And we're also going to talk about the impact on the Californian housing and Western markets that they've been tapping into. So, but first, let's show people a little bit inside of this factory. So you just let me know and I'll follow your lead. What are we looking at?
Yeah, great. Let me actually see. Maybe this is, yeah, this is the first photo. So these are just recently taking photos, maybe a month old. You know, there's still some areas that we're setting up. This is what you're seeing there is our last cell that we set up, which is for floor and roof cassettes, right? So this one is very similar to the wall panel line where you have a multifunctional bridge, you have an insulation, cellulose insulation, blown-in insulation cell, and you know we have the ability to, you know, do closed wall panels or closed panels, in this case, floor cassettes. You know, half of our facility, maybe from a floor perspective, half of our facility is set up for panelization and the other half is set up for modular. We use the panels for self-consumption, but we also offer you know, a fully panelized product, a panelized building envelope product, where, you know, this would be sort of this stepping stone here. What you see is basically at the wall line. And, you know, by the way, this sort of stations are accessible for our operators to be able to see the digital twin. This is extremely helpful when doing, you know, MEP systems and really understanding what goes into the wall. You can see behind him there's all the wall magazines that we basically, you know, we do all the work that is required to do with gravity helping you. We do a lot of the work in the vertical position. Obviously build the framing in the tables, but as I was saying, you know, we offer a panelized building envelope solution where, for two reasons, folks that come to us with already a permit set and they have not designed a project for modular, you know, it'll be extremely painful to go back and redesign your project. I'm just gonna flip through this as I speak. Sure. We basically can take your permit set plans and we can panelize the project, and nobody, I can guarantee you, nobody that would show up to that site would know this was made in a factory. Well, I guess the people that are familiar with framing would understand it because the quality is superior, right? This is we have an extruder line. So what it means is basically the wall is extruding is as the operators are basically loading new components, either just regular studs on between two plates, or rough opening subcomponents that are made kind of on the side of that table. You can see it here, for example, he just inserted that rough opening as a subcomponent, as a sub-assembly that came to him. Throughout the facility, we have a lot of material handling assist. So the operators are ergonomically doing this, which is one of the main things that they loft, right? If you've been in construction enough, like back injuries and people pinching their hands, cutting their hands is one of the main reasons for an incident. And we're really with equipment, we're avoiding that, right? This is sort of like a view of our modular line. We still have all trades in-house, right? Now, this is one of the biggest challenges that I'd say most modular companies have, is basically keeping a balanced workforce that can flex into different areas. Because as you know, not every project is the same. Not every project has the same mix of dry and wet modules. So sometimes a project will have a higher demand, for example, for drywall, or a higher demand for tile. So how do you basically incentivize your team to be able to cross-train, right? And what you used to have traditionally in construction, you would just have specific trades that come in and out. You have mobilization of those trades throughout the project. Well, how do we create an environment where one trade can learn two or three and be secondary to certain trades, right? So you see here, this is actually right now we have three modular lines, very identical to the one you see here. The middle one, which has less access to raw materials, is what we consider our fast lane. That's where we put most of our dry modules, just because they just move faster than the wet modules, right? On the exterior lanes that we basically have a lot of work centers that they're also modular in a way. Based on the project needs, the modules may extend across several work centers to basically create the room, and we do a lot of kitting and sub-assembling throughout the line, and so that's what that on the left side of the picture you would see. As I said, we have a fully coordinated digital twin. What you see here is Ben, one of our PMs, and we caught him probably on a call with a client, coordinating what it looks like lighting, right? And coordinating, and this is general for the entire industry, at least the ones that are doing offsite construction. We like to have a clash-free model before it ever hits the floor, right? That's the secret. That's the secret sauce, and it shouldn't be a secret, but in some cases that effort is not put forward. Our teams are known for that. We put a lot of effort, painful effort, on the front end to ensure that our clients are happy. What you see here is a replica of our. This is our war room. This is our production control room. It's a replica of our mod lines. So you see, he's basically updating. This gets updated 3 times a day, and he's updating it right then. Some of the issues that we encounter, or some of the opportunities that we encounter on every module. Right? There's a replica of the wall line behind them, and in this room we also have a cross training matrices. And basically it's just a skill matrix, basically sharing with everybody who has what skills at what skill level, and that also helps us plan for how we're going to flex the labor. So this is what you see are the 3 lanes. If you go today to the factory, all 3 lanes are full. We have more projects now going than when this picture was taken. Actually, the project on the left is on its way out. And we have all engineering, project management, design teams. They're all under one roof, which is the biggest advantage. Not only it's important to have the manufacturing associates all under one roof, so they're not traveling back and forth, but the support teams is super important to have them also under one roof. So that's why we're excited. That's the last picture, Dave.
Yeah, perfect. So appreciate you sharing that. I got a couple questions for you. We'll start with the
Sure.
last one first, since you just mentioned your engineering design team. Are you still working with architects? I mean, you used to work with a
Yes.
lot of really high-end architects across the country, and they were doing some amazing designs. Is that still going to be what you're going to do moving forward?
100%. I mean, the architect is it's one of the key stakeholders in our ecosystem. The architect, the engineer record, the GC. We're not. Our intent would never has been to replace any of them. Is to
Right.
work with them. Is to work with the ecosystem. The setting teams are just as important. We work with two of the greatest setting teams that there in the country. Have great relationships with them. We do have, because we had a design studio, we do have the capability of design for anything that falls under the residential code. So we can be the architect of record for that. But when it comes to IBC, once we make the shift to a type 5 construction, we don't do any of the stamping. We're not the architect of record. We have architects that we work with, as you mentioned, some of them highly known, renowned architects in the country. We will continue to work with them. We actually have a collection of designs that Plant Prefab throughout the years, through Living Homes initially, designed and sold. We're not abandoning those. What we're doing right now, and it's kind of a sneak peek of what we're working on from an R&D perspective. We're basically, selected the 5 most popular models, and we're basically refining the design so that it fits our new capabilities. So we're doing a DFMA process on those 5 models, and we're going to pick one actually that we're going to build a prototype for, and that's what we'll use for conferences, and that's what we'll ship around the country to kind of show our capabilities. And we're also working with teams, and the multi-unit. When I say multi-unit, right? Yes, it's multi-family, but we're still doing a lot of our projects are single-family residential. They just have to have more than one, right?
Sure.
That's the only difference that we shift. Our shift really was from a B2C to a B2B. So instead of working directly with the homeowners, right, we're now working with developers and GCs. But we're still. I mean, we have right now a couple of wineries that we're doing really cool. It's more like hospitality, but they're essentially single family homes in their winery, and obviously high end, and the type of product we're known for. But one of our biggest focuses or focus right now, and I think it's you mentioned, it's one of the questions. It's in affordable housing, and so we're really focused on bringing the cost down. We want to be at the front end of solving the issue of housing, and obviously that's not on the high end product. That's more on the affordable housing to market rate spec.
Right. Perfect. Perfect. Hey, listen, if you are out there and you're just tuning in, we have Agustin Rayon, who is the CEO of Plant Prefab, and we will be getting to some comments and questions here shortly. So if you have comments and questions, put them in the comments and questions section, and we will be happy to get back to you on that, either during the live show or after the show has aired and you're watching a replay. But we do appreciate you with the line. And then we got a couple more questions, and we only have another 10 15 minutes here, so I want to hurry up part of this. But with your lines, you're doing the panel lines, right, with making your cassettes. So you're doing floor, walls, and roof cassettes plus stairs, I'm assuming, right? So you have a full system. Is the idea always to just supply your own projects, or are you looking to actually have a panelized flat pack product as well as a modular project in the future?
Yeah, I mean, look, frankly, we're agnostic until we're, this is obvious. We're agnostic until we're at capacity, right? Once you're at capacity, you become a little bit more selective, which is a great problem to have. But right now, we do have a couple projects where, you know, we're even working with subcontractors that they have visited in the area. We're in an area right now that it's underdeveloped, right? The plan for the ranch, Tejon Ranch, which sits in Arvin, and you know it's very close to Bakersfield, just north of LA. Um, um, we basically we've been told that there's a development plan for 25,000 units over the next 5 years. So we have had several GCs and you know subcontractors come and look at our lines and say, "Hey, can we just buy the product from you?" Right? And obviously we're working through the details of those projects, but yeah, we're open to that. Um, Again, as long as there is capacity, of course, right? We want to utilize the assets, we want to utilize the equipment, we want our teams to be as busy as they can. As we grow, obviously, you know, we want to make sure that we're providing the right product for the right project, right? So yeah, hopefully that answers the question.
Yeah, no, it did answer the question. And then here's my last question on factory production and how you're doing it. The software that you're using, and I'm not asking you to name the software, but is it a proprietary software and is it end to end? So in other words, does it work through the design process? Does it give you real-time design changes on the line if something needs to change, especially on large projects in the field? And does it take you through the complete build cycle, or is there different softwares for different processes within the steps that takes to actually get a job all the way through handing the keys over to the developer or the customer?
It's a great question, and it's frankly probably a big opportunity for the industry to one of the areas where we can get better, right? That interconnection and digital thread, it's still I would say several threads that connect manually, you know, across the process from project management to design to BIM collaboration and whatnot. We don't use proprietary software, but what we do and we do have is within the software that we use, we basically have proprietary scripts that helps us, you know, within our specifications. They just helps us do repetitive tasks that we know, you know, they're routines that we have done maybe hundreds of times, and then finally, you know, our engineers said, "Hey, it's time to automate," right? And but then that has to be designed around a platform, which thankfully we do have a system, you know, a proprietary system that it basically allows us to do you know the connection of elements. And so within that we have a library, and you know we've developed some scripts. Now when it comes to feeding the equipment, I mean, this type of equipment, they take all kinds of formatting from and files from different platforms. We obviously this is something we tested early on, and any new features obviously have to go through a testing before they get released to manufacturing. We still and I think the biggest challenge is then the collaboration with architect of record and engineer of record. You have to, you know, use some of the leading solutions for BIM collaboration, and you know that is not as seamless as you would think, right? There's still opportunity there.
Yeah, no, I appreciate you sharing all that with us because, you know, that is a big opportunity for somebody in our industry to come up with a way to capture all of that information into one system. And it's a challenge, you know, when you get into data and feeding machines and robots, it's a real challenge. So we got a few minutes left here and I want to have a little bit of time for comments and questions. So let's power through a couple more of these. You know, one of the big things is the challenges in supply in a labor constraint market. So, you know, what challenges has Plant Prefab encountered in scaling up production? So that'd be the first question. And how do you navigate the challenges and what strategies do you put in place to ensure that the speed and scale required for widespread adoption of prefab housing solutions? You know, because there's your production side of this. And then, hey, listen, as this thing's growing, man, you guys got to be prepared for the offsite housing prefab storm that we all see coming our way.
Yeah, no, thank you. Yeah, it's you know, it takes careful planning to always have the right, not only the right amount of people and but the right type, right? The right labor. We use, as I mentioned, we have a very detailed production control process that, you know, it's kind of new for some of our employees, but we're developing as we go. It gets better every week. Where we're in constant communication with project management and, you know, engineering, and, you know, it's the common theme in our industry of when the pencils go down and when do actually projects go to the factory, right? Um, and based on that, we basically load our labor models, and we do our step change planning, and we decide, you know, how many people and how fast we grow. So uh, um, so we're prepared for that. Thankfully, in our area, we have had, as I mentioned before, tremendous success with recruiting and training. Great talent, the attitude, the excitement about, you know, working with the equipment that we have is high. So we've been blessed and lucky there. I think the biggest challenge really is the managing the peaks and valleys, right? As you know, and everybody that has been in the industry for a number of years will understand it quickly. It's always like hurry up and wait type of strategy, right? And you always are going to have those natural peaks and valleys. So part of the strategy of panelization for us too is base loading the factory and have a constant supply of a specific product, right? To manage those valleys. We're also, other strategies that we use is we do a lot of cross training and flexing within our crews. And, you know, I think honestly, right now, we're just all excited to uh, start getting projects back on track. We had a lot of projects that, you know, saw delays due to, you know, the economic environment, the interest rates. A lot of our projects, you know, they didn't get canceled, but they got financing issues that pushed projects to the right. And like you said, like it always happens, right? Either for an economic cycle or just the regular cycle. All of a sudden you get hit with 10 projects at a time, right? And so how do you do that, and how do you manage that? That's always the balancing act that we're doing. And frankly, I mean, I think you know, there should be more collaboration. There's another opportunity in industry. There should be more collaboration, more groups that are spearheading that, like yourselves, that you know, bring factories together, talk about these issues. And I mean, there are projects that we should be tackling together. You know, there are. I mean, we're being approached by certain clients that wants us to do 1,000+ unit projects, and you know, with a new factory, with, you know, just getting started. Obviously, my answer is yes, but let's do it with another factory. Let's find a partner that, so that we provide you really get the advantage of the offsite construction methodology, right? Eventually, we're going to be at a point where, yeah, we can take those on our own, but there has to be collaboration, you know, more collaboration.
Yeah, and I appreciate you putting it out there, because we do hold a bunch of private invite-only industry events for, you know, manufacturer owners and CEOs and directors of manufacturers, and we bring people from around the country together. And every time we do it, a partnership forms or a collaboration forms. And it's real powerful because, Augustine, you and everybody else out there, you're not really on an island by yourself. It may feel like that, but just like yourself and others, you know, people need friends and how to talk and how to grow. And somebody's already reinvented the wheel you're looking to invent, and we can help put you in touch with those people. So if you're out there and you have a factory and you want to be part of one of our events, you know, just send us a private DM. And if it makes sense, we'll definitely make sure you have an invitation. All right, last question. With the goal of materially impacting housing production in California and the other Western states, how do you foresee Plant Prefab's new factory influencing the housing market in these regions? And then we're going to go to some questions.
Yeah, great. Thank you. Well, This factory really, what the biggest advantage is bringing is lowering cost for us, right? As we approach a level of scale, we're able to really be more competitive. We're able to, play in sandboxes that in the past we just couldn't. Our scale alone wouldn't allow to do that. Now we have a factory that it's capable of producing, obviously product type depending, but we can do anywhere from 3 to 5 million square feet of square footage, construction square footage. And, uh, we, with the scale and with the new cost basis, I think we're going to be super competitive. As I mentioned, one of the areas or one of the verticals we're attacking, and we're focused on is affordable housing. We're also looking at student housing, hospitality, and we continue to, serve, some specialty housing solutions like emergency cabins and things like that. So, our factory has the ability to, in a region where supply is not very big, a lot of the clients, potential clients we talk to, they're sourcing their modular projects from even Canada, which sounds crazy to me, right? Nothing against our Canadian friends. I'm glad that they're also solving that. But we are now going to be the player, or intend to be the player in Southern California, and more supply will actually help adoption. More collaboration within all the players will help adoption, right? We all want to do better, so hey, if there's anybody out there that wants to come and visit the facility and wants to talk about best practices and whatnot, we welcome that. I'll be definitely taking you on attending some of the uh, um, groups that you facilitate, and we're excited to be here. This is an exciting time for an industry that has been talking about change for I don't know how many decades, and I feel like it's finally happening, right?
Yeah, it is finally happening, and we're seeing the growth come not only in this country, from around the world. People opening factories here and looking to do business with the United States. So the timing is perfect for new factories and growth and fully automated factories. So Augustine, why don't we get to a couple comments here real quick, and then we'll wrap up with your final words on if we missed anything, or what's your one thing you want to leave everybody with. But I already heard collaboration, and I hope people reach out to you to talk about that as well. And just to let everybody know, we will be at the International Builder Show, holding one of our private events on that Tuesday evening. And also, if you're going to be at World of Concrete, well, be a World of Concrete. I leave for Vegas, dude. I got to go to Vegas Thursday. I'm there for a week and a half. I don't know if I can take that much Vegas, but we'll be in Las Vegas starting this Thursday through next Thursday or Friday. So perfect. Let's get to some comments. Tim Sims, hello from Greenwood Lake. Tim Sims, man, that's somebody that's been in this industry for a while and has a lot of knowledge and a lot of friends in this industry. So thanks for joining us, Tim. Hope to talk to you here real soon. So we have some LinkedIn users where the names aren't showing up, but I believe this is Trey Shelton from 4A Constructs. He says, I know how that goes. We have mobilized over 150 people across the country to serve our clients. Kudos. So Trey and his team, I believe, are in the recruiting world for the offsite space. So if you're looking to ramp up production or employees, my guess is that's what we're looking at. And he also had a follow-up here. He said, if you need skilled labor trades, here we go. We have those apprentice programs. We train our skilled labor modular workforce continually. The move to automation is inevitable. However, we aren't quite there. Until that happens, we have the need for workforce is what we're saying here. So thoughts on that? You agree with him?
100%. And thank you.
Yeah, for sure. Here's no stranger, Steve Dubin. Hey, he said he would love to work directly with these guys if they are using continuous installation, meeting CA Title 24, 2018, 2021, IECC, etc. So for those of you who don't know what all that means out there that's just tuning in, you can Google it. It'll come right up for you. We're talking codes here, and we don't have time to get into all of it. Peter D. Maria, one of the best architects I know out on the West Coast. Great interview, Dave. Plant is a great case study for the industry. Just curious, does Plant perform GC work as well, or do they have a group of pre-qualified general contractors that they work with, train, trust, etc.?
Yeah, we work with GCs. We haven't extended ourselves into that arena, but we work with a group of pre-qualified and actually super awesome GCs that understand offsite construction. Obviously, we are looking to expand that ecosystem and those relationships as we grow. But yeah, thank you. Happy to chat if you want to reach out.
Yeah, appreciate it, Peter. And Peter should reach out. You like Peter, man. He's one of the several nicest guys I know, and there's a lot of them in our industry. Once you get to know people, super fun. Here's one to be exact. Greg Ugoldi. He is the past chair of the National Association of Home Builders. This guy's got updates to the President of the United States and the Secretary of Housing on what's happening at the national level with the Home Builders Association. So, Greg, thanks for joining us. Agustin is offering much needed alternatives. Great job, Dave, and DC Live. So there you go. Hey, you guys should connect, Greg. You should know these folks over at Plant Prefab. Hey, maybe we'll get to see them in Vegas. Maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
You never know.
You know, for a week and a half, but I'll be there for my max, which is 2 days.
There you go. All right. Well, hey, just make sure it's that evening of the Tuesday, or I'll see you in Denver, actually, because we're also going to be out in Denver. But yeah, looking forward to World of Concrete this week as well. So if you're going to be at World of Concrete, guys, out there, send me a DM. We'll see if we can connect and show what you're doing. And we'll be out there with the Progress Group and some other awesome people. So, all right. Agustin, what have I not talked about? What is the one thing that I missed that you maybe want to tell everybody, or do you just have some great wisdom to share with everyone that's trying to either get in this space or do something like you guys have done?
No, I think thank you for having me. This was great. I love your show and what you guys are doing. You know, we need more connectors like you. I'll leave you with, we have new capabilities. We have an amazing team that, we're eager to put these tools to work and, start really ramping up. We have, as I mentioned, a panelized building envelope solution. If you're just getting your toes wet into offsite construction, you've never done it, it's a great way to start. We can still get you to a drying condition in half the time you would traditionally. So you can stack your MEP trays right behind it. We can take you all the way to fully enclosed wall panels and a panelized solution with fully enclosed componentry, or we can help you basically with the design coordination and obviously execution of your modular hybrid project. We don't have a lot of projects left that are fully modular. Most of our projects have a hybrid component, because there are aspects of every project that do require some panelization, and rather than telling you we don't do that, go figure it out, and then you have several different traits on top of us, we're able to provide that, right? So we're again trying to solve for the projects. We love to do that, and happy to talk to anybody who has a project out there that want to talk to us.
Awesome. Well, listen, everybody, that is a wrap for today's show. We went a little bit over, but I appreciate your time, Agustin. It's awesome to have you on the show. So for anybody out there, just reach out directly to Agustin if you want to work with them, collaborate with them, or just talk shop a little bit. I'm sure more than happy to do so. For the rest of you, I will see you in Las Vegas this upcoming week at World of Concrete. We'll be out there with several companies, the Progress Group, Advanced Construction Robotics. We got some cool stuff happening, so you're going to want to catch up with us while we're out there. Agustin, if you could just hang tight. Here's a few more words from our sponsor, and I'll come back to you, Agustin, right after the show. Thanks, everybody, for watching. I'm Dave Cooper. We'll see you next time. Bye now. What an amazing show. Thank you to all of our sponsors for helping us to continue to bring all of these innovative conversations to all of you out there. Please visit them, see what they have to offer you. And as always, subscribe to the YouTube channel and ring that bell. It would mean the world to us. I'm Dave Cooper. Thanks for watching.